Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Miskatonic University Radio, a podcast and live stream exploring Fantasy Flight Games' Arkham Horror, the card game. I'm Dane.
I'm Dan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Harrison.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And tonight, we're excited to share with you our fourth spoiler from the upcoming Scarlet Keys expansion. We're in the middle of spoiler season, which is pretty exciting. And I guess, so if you're here completely by coincidence, have absolutely no social media awareness, or just stopped in to just kind of, shoot shit, welcome. We're going to be spoiling everybody's favorite investigator, Darrell Simmons. And I think this is something that caught me completely by surprise, because there's apparently taken root in the Mythos Buster server, a cult of sorts that has formed in Darrell's name. So I'm very excited that these folks are as excited as I am to see Darrell in this game finally.
People are hyped for Darrell, so they're ready for him.
The hype train is real. Folks were foretelling his coming for a long time now. I've been wondering when he's been added, probably since like the Forgotten Age. I was like, hey, I've wanted Darrell so bad as somebody, and I wanted him to be Survivor. I wanted him to be some amount Seeker, so he's here.
I also was aware that Darrell existed before about 2 weeks ago when we got the spoiler. just want to get that out there. No, that's a lie. I was
there's like eight or less investigators from the original IP left, so they don't have too many. That's why there's two completely new investigators in this pack.
Fair.
Yeah, so people are hyped. Yeah. There's been memes happening.
People making memes. Harrison's making memes. Harrison is over at Instagram at Arkham Horror Memes. Fantastic memes. He's been helping us promote all of these spoilers, so if you haven't checked that out yet, head over there and check it out.
Not all of those are my memes. I was excited to see people jumping on the meme bandwagon.
Some of these we blatantly stole from people that made them.
Some of these were lifted from the Mythobusters Discord, and theirs are fantastic. Which is the Wolverine one, which I love, and then the Cringe compilation one.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due.
I'm going to roll on to the next slide. It's a picture of a camera. So this.
So for all of those folks who had the Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia like chalk the board behind him, it all started with this Hawkeye folding camera, right? And personally, for me, the best Seeker hand slot card in the game. I know that's a very contentious slot for sure. Dan's probably got some other opinions on that, but this card is interesting because I've always loved this card. The upside of it is huge. The downside of it is also huge. But it's important for us to note here, I guess, before we get into spoiling Darrell, that anything that anybody who ever takes this, I feel, at least for any table that I've been at, just stops counting the number of evidence on this card after they get the third one. It's like anytime they clear a location, even if they have the deduction level 2s going ham on locations, nobody cares. At least I don't. I've never seen anybody care about having this card have more than 3 charges on it. Right?
Also, let's be honest. As a former mathematician, counting beyond 3 harder than it sounds. Why do it if you don't have to?
I actually did not know that it did rack up evidence. I was just like 3, and then
it keeps going.
See you later.
It keeps going.
What am I supposed to do with all of these by the same token evidences?
Yeah. Folks that buy the same token, we're like, we don't need to print more than that. Nobody cares. I'm going to say now, before we spoil, you're going to care.
I think someone cares. All right, now I'm going to go to the next slide. Let's do it.
Yes.
This is a very long song, Dane. Why? I don't know why I allowed you to. I don't know why you put that in there. All right, Dave. Why don't you read us the front of Darrell Simmons?
So this is Darrell Simmons, the photographer. He is a survivor. He has 2 will, 5 intellect, 2 combat, and 3 agility. He has his text reads, "You begin the game with Darrell's Kodak in play. And as a fast action, during a skill test at your location, you can spend an evidence from an asset you control to reduce the difficulty of this test by 2, limit once per test. His Elder Sign ability is a +1. Place 1 evidence on an asset you control. The truth is darker than any of us know." And he has a 6 health and 8 sanity there for him. So, I mean, I think everybody's been waiting for a Seeker or a Survivor rather who has 5 intellect, right? There's been so many cards that have come out that have supported like a big intellect kind of thing, right? We've got upgraded Granny Orn, we have Plucky level 3, we have, is it Plucky? Yeah, it's Plucky.
There's the ghosts.
Yeah, there's the ghost friend who gets exiled later.
Yeah, I mean, 5 in a Survivor is fairly unprecedented. Was there someone that had 5 agility that I'm forgetting? Vita. Okay. But yeah, like this is definitely the highest int we've seen in a Survivor. Bob had 4, right?
Dan brought up,
yes.
Dan brought up you're gonna have a hard time actually failing the test whenever you with the 5 intellect.
Dan's muted.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I pointed out before we started the stream, like Survivors, you're supposed to fail everything, right? If you have 5 int, it's harder to fail investigate tests, but these guys are like, "Oh, it's okay. You can still fail your other. You can still fail the other 75% of all the."
I don't think Darrell's gonna.
Or you can drawing then and still fail. So.
I don't know if Darrell's gonna lead into the fail by stuff as much in Survivor. I think he'll maybe.
We'll see. I don't know. I feel like
just one value. Look what I found.
I mean, he can still go
to throw those cards in a Survivor deck is pretty strong.
At least not for getting clues. He might need it more for wheel tests or if he has to fight for some reason, So there's a lot of stuff going on the front of his card here, but I think there's some pieces missing. So when we think about his deck building, I'm sure people have noticed. Dane was bringing up that there's two pairings from the original core set design for deck building we haven't seen. One of which is Seeker Rogue, and the other, of course, is Survivor Seeker, which that's what Darrell is. So he's got the deck size 30. He's got Survivor 0 to 5, Seeker 0 to 2, Neutral 0 to 5, and then his deck building is he has the Kodak, Ruined Film, and 1 mana basic weakness. So pretty straightforward deck building. Nothing too crazy here. I think some of the other investigators that have been previewed have weird deck building, like Charlie and Kimani. So
No, Michael Lee. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean this, like Midas was saying in chat, I was very, very shocked when I saw the 5 intellect for a Survivor. I feel like they haven't been doing that explicitly because of like ridiculous scavenging, and now we have ice pick combo type stuff, and like now we have it, and it's like greater than I thought. He can reduce the difficulty of any test by 2. It just seems so powerful, and with access to 0 to 2 Seekers, that's your deduction level 2s. That's your perception level 2s. That's Pathfinder. That's like
magnifying glass.
Magnifying glasses, even though they're definitely the weaker choice in between the hand slot.
Those took up those camera slots, Dan.
Yeah, if you're not
those are his camera slots.
If you're not triple fisted cameras, then
although you can do the tool belt and you can have magnifying glasses and cameras and like swap them around.
I feel
somehow.
Like this is the main thing that's going to make me actually play a Darrell deck, is just to play with Dane, to play Darrell and go magnifying glasses just for the troll factor. I think it's going to be really fun. But it is because I feel like what they could have done with him is they could have given him the kind of like Mandy Tony thing where you pick an off class and you get like 0 to 1 skills and events or something like that. But that would definitely be, I think, less cool. It's way better to just have like Seeker subclass. So that's really
especially
great.
For Seeker, right? Like Seekers have a lot of relevant level 2 cards and a lot of relevant assets, and it's just so good. This is everything we've wanted. So yes, praise be unto Darrell.
Well, I mean, we have a Survivor that can really use scavenging too. So you could throw magnifying glasses if you want to, right?
The cool thing is that, I mean, a lot of people had been using, I know Minty, who's a creator of fantastic decks, had built like an Ashcan deck that used Jeremiah and Chance Encounter. He can actually just do that. he could use Jeremiah and chance encounters just native, right? He can throw down Jeremiah. You know what else is even? Not magnifying glass. Hawkeye folding camera. So he can find his Hawkeye folding cameras with Jeremiah. Let Jeremiah die. Draw 5. Not that he needs it, right? He's already got like a ton of secret draw, a ton of secret resource generation. So like he's just got so much stuff going for him. So I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, folks in chat are trying to figure out how to get this man Michael Lay or Damning Testimony, which are cards with evidence on them that he can't take take naturally.
Teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork stuff or black market, or there's ways to pass stuff around. Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we look at his signature card so we can get the full picture? So everyone, I'm sure, wants to see his weakness first, which is Ruined Film. It is a treachery blender. Remove 4 evidence from cards you control. For each evidence you cannot remove in this way, take 1 horror. So, I mean, pretty straightforward weakness that kind of slows down his tempo a bit. It'll get rid of some of the evidence in play or hurt him a bit. I mean, nothing that crazy. He can't take deny existence or something. Normally, this is not a choice. Actually, you have to remove the evidence if you can. So that could be sad times once you're ramped up. But let's look at his signature asset. That is Darrell's Kodiak. I keep saying Kodiak. That's definitely not how you say.
That's very close to bear.
Kodak. Yeah, it's you always have to have bears in the brain. Anyway, so Darrell's Kodak, proof is in the pudding. It is a cost 2 asset. It has an agility icon, a intellect icon, and a wild icon on it. It's an item and tool. Darrell Simmons deck only. Again, this starts in play for him as per his character card. After an enemy or treachery enters play, exhaust Darrell's Kodak. Place 1 resource from the token pool on the enemy or treachery as evidence. And then another action, after you discover any number of clues, move that many evidence on enemies or treacheries at that location, or not at any location, to Darrell's Kodak. It does not take up any slots.
Does very, very clearly holding it with 2 hands.
Like 2-handed camera holding. Doesn't need it.
Well, he has like probably a neck strap thingy too, right? He probably has a gnarly like hunch for this heavy camera.
I think you guys are not really like, this is a huge camera. Like, actually look at this. This is giant. And it's also, remember that this is before plastic existed. This thing probably weighs like 28 pounds. I mean, especially like, do you see the flash? How I think it's those like one-use bulbs where like, bulb goes off and then you like throw it on the ground and put another one in. Those are so cool. Those are just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've got 2 questions at this point. 1, who let the auto-fail token into the chat? 2 is, this takes up no hand slots, so that means you can have 3 cameras out. You can have double Hawkeye folding camera and this out at any given one time.
Triple camera.
It does not start with evidence in play, so you can definitely draw 1, get your weakness.
That's true. You could immediately take 4 horror. So maybe he needs a little bit of horror soak or horror healing at least in his deck. I don't know. He'll be fine. That never happens. So yeah, this kind of puts it all together, right? Yeah, I mean he's a survivor. They got ways to deal with horror and health damage. So I mean this kind of puts it all together, right? So here's the full suite for those watching the VOD or streaming. So yeah, he has this engine of generating evidence that he can use to reduce difficulties of tests. It's not just tests that he's doing, right? It is a test at his location. So he can, if he might not need this for like doing intellect tests. He might want it for if he has to evade something.
Realize that.
Or it's at your skill test at your location, right? So like in multiplayer, he can use this evidence if he's not using it for himself to help out his friends.
Help out people shotgun, to help out rogues rogue.
It is once per test. You can't just spam it, but yeah, I mean -2 on a test that he probably recharges at least once a turn, not too bad. I think the tricky thing with him is he has to, and if he wants to get the evidence on his camera, he has to discover clues.
Wow.
And while there's an enemy or treachery at his location, I guess treachery is maybe not as bad, but if there's enemies, he either needs a friend to hold it, or he needs to evade it first or something, or
I think it's going to be really dependent because there's some scenarios. There's a lot of like in Edge of the Earth. There's a lot of treacheries that attach to locations in some of those scenarios,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that'll work out really well with this. But in a typical scenario, yeah, it might be tough because unless you're kind of like sticking together, really bunched up with your fighter, you might not be near the enemies that are having evidence put on them.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it's just my memory, but like I think there were a lot of treacheries that weren't on any locations in Circle. Like I feel like there are so many scenarios that just had things that were floating on the agenda. So like that kind of thing, you just take a picture of.
Well, yeah, those are great, right?
Circle and
Because
Bend, right?
because
Circle and Bend's a huge one.
yeah, because the stuff that's not in any location, so that would be stuff that's attached to the agenda deck or act deck or whatnot, right? So Golden has a ton of that.
Can I ask Rules Master Ben a question?
Uh-oh.
You're always so worried about this, and you almost always know the answer. So there are player cards that kind of like capture an encounter card in your area. Like there's that kind of weird janky Guardian Ward where you like play it on a treachery, and then like next time someone draws it, they can do something. Is that in play if it's kind of like captured under an event in your player board area?
I think if it's still face up, it's considered in play. But if it gets put face down, I think it's not. I don't quite remember, but
something like I Have Truth that puts it in the victory display, it would not be in play.
Right.
But if you have some way to like attach it face up to one of your cards or something like that, and there are cards that do that.
Yeah, I think that'd still be in play. So that'd be a way to maybe pull something in. As it stands, I don't see a way to get more than one resource on an enemy treachery, because you only put one on when it enters play. So I don't know if there's too much benefit to like locking one down, but
yeah.
Again, the second statement is after you discover any number of clues, move that many enemy. Oh, I guess if you have multiple enemies or multiple treacheries, you could like pull one from each.
Yeah, but because it does exhaust, suppose you're in like a 4-player game, the odds are pretty good that one person is going to draw either an enemy or a treachery that attaches to something or goes in play. But you can only use this once, so you kind of have to decide like maybe the first person who draws an encounter card draws an enemy, but they're on the other side of the map, and you have to decide like, okay, do I put the evidence on that, or do I wait and see if someone else closer to me draws something? So that's kind of an interesting decision to make, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he has access to a couple cards that like do weird things with enemies. Like one of them is Dumb Luck. Dumb Luck will take an enemy off the board and put it back on top of the deck. So he could get that evidence on them again.
Oh yeah,
maybe kind of neat.
If he like scoops it up and then fails to evade it, throws it back on top.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's hard to. I haven't done too much theory crafting this yet. I don't know like how much evidence you want. Do you like want to be getting like one every turn if possible, or is it kind of like you have a couple, and once you have a couple in your bank, you're like, it's fine. Anything else is gravy. Because it depends how often you want to trigger that -2, I guess. If you're trying to do like succeed by nonsense, then yeah, maybe you want it a lot, or make it so you can maybe pass the treacheries, because he does have will of 2, which we haven't talked about much. Is that the lowest of any survivor? Survivors usually have like at least 3, right?
That's not great.
Yeah, well, he's matched with Bob. Bob is 2 and 4 in terms of will and end.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean
it's not. I mean, he's taking Hawkeye folding cameras. Like you don't.
Yeah, that'll buff.
Like
that'll buff a little bit.
Yeah. What happens when you draw your weakness and it wipes out all your evidence and you lose your will bonus? Then
we'll get to that. All right, I mean, we'll get there.
We'll
get there.
I mean, as a survivor, he has ways to soak stuff that's coming out of the encounter deck a bit, so it's okay if he does fail some tests. Plus, he'll probably have like luckies or whatever, and other ways to boost up that skill.
Yeah, Karma's here with the morality check.
Calvin does have 0 and everything.
Yeah,
that's right. So, but I mean, not really. Calvin really has 5 in every stat. If you're playing him right,
yeah.
Or actually, you can go higher than that. But yeah. I mean, this is Darrell. Did you obviously? We talked about Hawkeye folding camera early on because it is evidence. There's other cards that maybe come in this pack that could have evidence on them. We've seen Damning Testimony was previewed, which has evidence, but it's a rogue card, so you can't take it inherently. And then Michael Lay has evidence on him, but that is a Seeker's Guardian level 5. Maybe we'll see 1 or 2 more cards in this pack that play with evidence. If he has another way to generate wish I could talk. If he has another way you could generate evidence, I think he'll be incredibly strong. But as it is, I think he's in pretty good shape. He can definitely just get clues, if nothing else. But
Yeah.
his toolbox here seems like it'll be fun to play around with.
Probably really great with like deduction and things like that,
Yeah.
just to pass by a bunch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the real play is to like gather all the evidence, but not actually have to use it. So at the end of a scenario, you just have like, look at all these pictures I took. Do you think? I think my boss will actually pay for them this time. You know, there's no pictures of Spider-Man, but
People are mentioning empirical hypothesis in chat. I think that's great because he is going to be either A, succeeding by 3, and B, failing by 2 because he is, a survivor. So that seems like a perfect fit for him, right? Like, I feel like other cards of note would be like newspaper. He could kind of take newspapers, scavenge them back. They've got 2 icons on them when they're level, 2, I think. So, I mean, they're going to be pretty great for him picking up even more clues. With 1 newspaper and a deduction level 2, he could pick up, 5 clues in one go? Once per agenda or act or whatever?
I mean, if he doesn't have any clues currently, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that takes up hand slots. A newspaper's not even a tool for to do tool belt nonsense. So
I'm aware. I'm just saying.
He's gonna want that. He's gonna want those cameras, right?
Totally.
So I mean, Dan's gonna
Hawkeye
refuse.
cameras tools?
Yeah, they're tools, so you can throw them on the tool belt. I don't think they go out of play if they go on the tool belt. So I think they keep all their tokens on them.
Yeah.
If they do go out of play, that's a lot worse. But I'm pretty sure they don't. Yeah, sharp vision. People mentioned that. There's definitely
vision. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, there's a good handful of stuff.
Many ways.
And then he also has he can do ice picks too, right? To get extra clues.
Yes.
Those do take up camera slots.
Those take up valuable camera slots, Ben.
Is there a way to get extra hand slots for tools? I guess not, right? Like Joe has Joe's guns or something, but
you just do some shenanigans where you pick up all the clues except for the last clue and then pull out your camera.
Yeah. Nathia says ice picks are insane. I agree, especially with he's got scavenging level 2, right? Like
throw them.
Yeah, he has access to a lot of the good secret cards, right? Which is most of the secret cards are good, right? But I mean, we can go up to level 2. He can't get like the undiscovered nonsense, so he can't go crazy with like archaic glyphs or something. But deduction level 2 and perception level 2, he can crank up his int very, very high and get some card draw going from secret nonsense. So
see that's the kind of thing, right? Like he can't take glyphs. So to me that says okay, he should do ice picks because like ice picks, if you can recur it all the time, it's like kind of a ice picks plus deduction. It's like kind of a substitute for glyphs, right? So like even with his ability, like we still have to wait and see if there's other. We don't know like every card that has evidence on it yet. But like honestly, if I think ice picks might be honestly better than Hawkeye folding camera in this situation, just because like you scoop up so many clues. I mean,
it depends how much you want to make use of his evidence ability. I mean, we mostly play multiplayer, and solo might be more valuable to have evidence available to pass an evade or whatever that you need. But
I think in lower player counts, it'll be pretty good. I think in higher player counts, all you're going to be doing is investigating. So. Except for treacheries, which there's other ways you can handle that. You can play like test of will. Well, actually, you're bad at will, but you can just soak stuff. Like there's other ways to handle treacheries other than like just always having tons of evidence to use on it. So
yeah,
true. Yeah. I mean, he can. There's so much that he can do with scavengings, like
upgraded scavenging. Yeah,
even completely nixing the ice picks. There's a lot of potential in the seeking stuff. Like we said, he's got the ability to reduce a test by 2. Plus, if he's taking upgraded Granny Orn, which gives him a will and an intellect, that's technically like a by 3 swing. So he's one of the best users of any of the fail by packages things, right? Like Dumb Luck and I found a thing. I can't. I never remember the name of it. Yes, thank you. I found a thing.
Oops.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, scavenging. He'll be able to trigger scavenging very easily a lot of the time. So yeah, I think that'll be a fun way to go. But yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have any other thoughts on Darrell right now?
I'm happy he's here.
do you think FFG had to like have the lawyers talk to Kodak's lawyers to like name a card Kodak.
I was wondering that actually. Yeah,
Because Kodak is like still Kodak still exists. Still
It
a
does.
company.
Is it?
Don't they?
It's probably still a trademark or something. Or
Oh, no.
copyright or something.
Well, don't tell anybody.
Don't they have
Don't
like
get the game
IPC?
canceled.
Like
Well,
yeah, because
I'm just
everybody has
saying
like
if-
smartphones.
I'm just saying that if they announce like next week that Arkham Horror the card game is being canceled and FFG is going bankrupt, it's probably because of this. That's all I'm saying.
Fair.
Oh
Fair.
man. Oof. All right. Yeah, I don't know. That is it something that's like been around long enough that it fell out of like copyright or something, or is it different because it's a trademark or a right reserved or whatever? Other nonsense.
A character named Mickey Mouse would like a word with you about that.
Well,
And,
that's almost Mickey Mouse is almost free, right? Until
that's
Disney
true.
lobbies the government to extend the copyright right
no,
again.
it's something complicated where like you're now allowed to like Mickey Mouse is in the public domain, but only depictions of him before like 1930 or something
Ooh.
like that. So
Reaver,
maybe-
Reaver in chat
I don't know.
has the actual
oh
reality.
man,
We have
we
an
got an
IP
expert.
attorney in the chat.
Oh, see, I didn't know that Thermos was a brand name. I thought Thermos was
I
like a
didn't-
generic thing.
It's
So,
like Band-Aids, right?
interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's
you know,
good.
the 1920s were really a very different time.
Yeah, for better or worse.
You know what I'm excited for next year? The theme song that we use will fall into fair use because apparently it's not.
Hey,
Hey, we got there.
So-
we're
so-
okay.
So if YouTube can stop copyright striking us, it'll be great. All right, all right. I think that's it. Dane, did you have some announcements you wanted to share?
Yeah, so coming up for MUR, next Thursday, we're going to be having a live chat with MJ and Duke, the lead designers of Arkham Horror, the card game. And then the following 3 Tuesdays, we're going to be...
Thursdays.
Not Tuesdays, Thursdays. Thank you. We're going to be having more previews from the Scarlet Keys. And lastly, every Friday, starting this Friday, Ben and Harrison are going to be playing through the Beards Alice in Wonderland fan-made campaign. So they are going to be going through with Darrell and Charlie, I believe. Harrison has landed on Charlie for the
Might be Kamani.
We'll figure out who's gonna be
Well,
fighting. I
we're
don't know.
going to figure that out, but most importantly, it's going to be Darrell. So we're going to be kind of figuring stuff out without most of this Scarlet Keys stuff. So yeah,
Camera time.
If anybody on that's listening wants to send us at MUR a good fighter Charlie deck, please do, because we've been racking our brains.
Harris and David trying to puzzle it out. You know, I think it's gonna happen. I think you can fight stuff long enough for me to take pictures of things. I mean, get clues. So, you know,
I didn't realize that Darrell could help you with it too.
Yeah.
Darrell
Look at that.
can
I
reduce
I
the
think
difficulty.
I'm gonna be taking a lot of pictures of Charlie like trying to smack something with an axe
The
to
autofill
inspire him
token
or whatever.
says every Charlie deck is a meme, and I don't disagree with him.
Oh, sled dogs. Oh man.
Every deck is a meme.
This is fair. Well, anyway,
Sled dog, boxing gloves, Charlie. Let's go.
oh god. While everybody's waiting for those, keep an eye out for previews from The Whisperer in Darkness, also Key vs. Day Arkham, and your favorite other Arkham content creators in the coming days. If you have any deck lists that you want to share with us, any comments, questions, talking about Darrell, create the Cult of Darrell proper, reach out to us at comments@mur.fm or join our Discord to hang out with us.
Dane, are you trying to usurp control of the Darrell cult? Is that
No,
is that
I'm
what's
just trying to
happening?
be a part of it.
Oh, okay.
Darrell.
To stay current on what we're doing, please follow us on social media networks, including Instagram and Twitch. You can find the links to all of these at social.mur.fm. If you really enjoy what we're doing, we'd appreciate a nice review on your favorite podcast source. Thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. It was a real wild time being able to spoil Darrell and hang out with y'all. Thanks to everybody watching on YouTube later. And thanks. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.